The children now, many of them that have gone through the tribal school, have grown up seeing Oneida as Oneida. It's a place where the language is spoken. It's a place where the traditions exist. It's a place that the community values include the tribe. And that is a very different environment than the generation that I come from. We were definitely outside of that environment. Our children were sent to 5 different school districts. We were gerrymandered every way that a community could be, and we were kept apart from one another. Now we understand who we are, and we have community places for the people to all come together, and we have a lot that builds us as community. So we've come a long way. When Nixon in 1970 came up with the so-called Nixon message and the discussion of self-determination of tribes, the whole concept was totally unique for much of Indian country, because not only did they not have the resources, they didn't have the experience in dealing with federal programs and the evolution of these policies and so on. So tribes had to suddenly come together and figure out what they were going to be when they grew up. I think the concept that exists now is that we have programs. We have social service programs, we have education programs, we have a library, a museum, a health center, a nursing home. We have law enforcement. The problem with what was being done to Indian people through the Indian boarding school experience was that they were being stripped of all of those things about themselves. And so they came back home and they couldn't speak their language, and they didn't know their traditions. So if you don't know who you are, if you can't value who you are, if you don't have something to hold it up to, you're in a state of anomie, your normlessness. You don't know who you are, so you just exist. That's not how our people should be. I recall when it was 1972, there was passage of the Indian Education Act, and people started going to school. In '72, Native Americans were 500% behind the national average in post-secondary education. People weren't getting through high school, let alone going to college. So there wasn't the formal training and access to information. But starting that process in '72, there were kids that were going to school, and some of them began to research how it was that their treaty rights had gone away. So how did they get to be where they were? Why didn't we have the rights that we were supposed to have? And suddenly Jerry Danforth used to say it was like lightning across the riz. The word got out very quickly that something was very wrong here. In order for you to be effective, you need to be able to represent something. And to do that, you need to know who you are and what you believe and what you value. And if you know that, then you can teach others.